He ain't coming back.
That chopper looks like it's heading to the evac center at the mall.
Gotta agree. Let's follow them to the mall.
Zombies are real. Movie movies are true.
He ain't coming back.
That chopper looks like it's heading to the evac center at the mall.
Got it.
Nice. Reloading. I'm gonna reload.
Where's the character?
Let's get him! Hey, I'll play with you some other time. Yes!
Alpha 2 heading due south over the city. We're on.
Attention all units. Suspect seen heading south. Block all major roads and capture the suspect.
voy a romper a pedazos!
Egyptian mythology.
She will burrow from beneath the earth to find you, and you will face the judgment of Anubis. Take the staff. With its power, I can give you guidance no matter how far apart we are. Hurry, mortal. You are not safe here.
No time for games, Sonic! Oh no!